Hi, it's the Lipstick Gal. Thanks for watching today. I have the new Taupe powder and foundation to play with. I was excited when I heard that Taupe was coming out with a foundation product. And that's because I have really always loved the other face products I've tried from him. The powder bronzer, cream contour, the cream and powder blush duos. I really feel like he has a beautiful handle on making skin look fantastic while mixing creams and powders. So I am super excited to try this. This Major Skin Cream Foundation and Finishing Powder comes in similar packaging to the rest of his face products. The one thing I'll tell you is, although the packaging is the same rose gold, it has that same snap closure, it does have a plastic window to cover the cream product. It is smaller than the blush duo and the cream bronzer and contour duo. So it'll be easy for me to find based just solely on size. Although she is a little expensive at $52, the good thing to know is that you're getting 9 grams of powder. 9 grams is actually more than you're getting in the Charlotte Tilbury Flawless Finish Powder. You're getting 8 here. You do get 9 in her new powder format. If you're thinking about other powder products, this one from LYS has just over 6 grams. And this one here from CoverGirl from the drugstore has 11 grams. So I feel like 9 grams is kind of right in the middle of, you know, where things usually end up packaging wise for a full size powder. You're getting 0.42 ounces of cream foundation. If you're thinking about the Huda Beauty, you're getting 0.44 ounces in a full stick of foundation. You're also getting 0.44 in the Bobbi Brown. You're only getting 0.25 in the Hourglass Vanish. Some of the other ones actually have lesser amounts. They have like 0.33. So if you're getting like 0.42 here, this is the same size as a full stick foundation and the same size as a full pressed powder. Now this duo here runs $52, but if you're thinking about that, that's $26 for foundation and $26 for powder, which for me, for a high-end Sephora brand, I think is actually a fantastic price. I don't know if I have the right shade. I have Fair 2. There are 4 fair shades. I think there are 24 shades overall, but I was worried that if I got the lightest one, Fair 1, which is supposed to be fair, kind of cool and rose toned, that it would not match my mostly neutral undertone. So here's hoping that the lightest neutral shade is going to work, but this already seems like it might be too dark. I don't know. You know what? It might actually be just perfect. What's interesting is the minute I put my finger in the pan, it feels like it's melting a little bit. It almost feels like texturally like it's super soft and melty. It's going to be a breeze to blend. I'm just going to start by tapping some of this, you know, around the face. I did not pick up the blending brush he recommends with this because I have so many face brushes. I don't feel like I would need something like that. I love that this is a medium coverage foundation. I think that's really nice. Oh, it might be just a hair dark still. So I used a buffing foundation brush for this side. I'm really curious to see what happens if I use a beauty sponge on the other. If I'm looking at my skin, this definitely looks like medium coverage. It looks like it's creamy. It doesn't look like it's immediately settling into fine lines, but I don't also feel like it's catching on any potential dry spots. I feel like I like the look of it best, even though I used a brush to kind of buff it in on one side. I feel like pressing it in with a sponge really kind of makes it, as much as possible, disappear into the skin. I feel like I'll probably be happiest buffing it in with this and finishing with a damp sponge. I might be able to just get away with, you know, using my fingers or just a brush if I'm kind of in a rush. But if I'm going to really take the time to get it to look the way I want, I think I'll be using both a damp sponge and a brush to apply. I'm going to throw on a little bit of the Huda Beauty Faux Filter Concealer. I don't know, this is so creamy. I don't know that I would trust the Taupe underneath the eyes. I'm going to a friend's house for lunch today. I've kind of been up and around making some, food to take with me, and I think that the best thing to do would just to give myself a little bit of safety and use the Huda Beauty Faux filter underneath the eyes. I definitely don't want this to be moving around. Now that I have my foundation blended in, a little bit of concealer on underneath my eyes, I'm going to use this powder on a fluffy brush and just sweep it underneath the eyes and start setting my face. I feel like my under eyes is the first place I need to set, lest things start to fall back into my under eye wrinkles. I'm not really going for a full set face today. I am just hitting kind of like my under eyes, my forehead where I tend to have product settle into, my expression lines, corners of my nose, top of my nose where I can get a little bit dewy. Should we just say oily? You know what I mean. It's early September, so it's still warm where I live, and I'm gonna hit my chin, just kind of my T-zone in general, and my under eyes. I feel like that leaves me at a really good place. As I'm looking at this, there's a couple of things that I'm noticing, like right here on the nose. I have just set this and I already feel like I should have started with the pore filling primer. I usually skip primer because it's the one thing that I know it helps, but I don't care that much. That's a me problem, but I feel like right here you can really see where there is some of that cream foundation settling into my pores, like little pinpricks of color, and then I just set it with this powder. I also feel like maybe my under eyes look like just a little bit dry. And I'm not saying that they look bad. I don't think they look bad. I just feel like they look just a little bit drier than normal. One thing I just noticed, I took my damp sponge and pressed it into the powder and got a little hard pan going on here. I was not expecting that. I wasn't expecting that. I feel like this powder is a little firmer pressed and a damp sponge is not doing it any favors. So I'm gonna have to go through and either scrape the hard pan off or take a piece of tape and lift it off and then just stick to using a brush. But that's just something that you might like to know if you prefer putting a damp sponge in your powder and then setting like your T-zone. I like to hit sometimes my pores or the corners of my nose just for a little added like protection and coverage, but I feel like this powder can't really handle a damp sponge. I'm gonna take a minute to finish putting the rest of my face on and I'll be right back. I really like the way this look turned out. I'll make sure to list all of the products I used in the description bar down below, but I pulled out all of my Patrick Taupe. The one thing I'll tell you right now, it's 10:23, I feel like this is a pretty good place to start the day. I finished putting on my base makeup probably about half an hour ago, and I was enjoying another cup of coffee, putting on my eyeshadow, chatting with my family. We're going to a friend's house for lunch, so I needed to finish taking out of the oven the dessert that I had put in and finishing the French potato salad that I made. So I've kind of been up and around and doing some things. That's why it's a little bit later today. But let's call it 10:20 and see how the day progresses. I feel like right now here in this lighting, which is not natural, it looks pretty good. And I'm hoping it's going to wear well throughout the day. I will tell you, I do notice like right here, those little tiny pinpricks of color where the cream foundation settled in, but I didn't put on a pore filling primer and that's on me. But I really want to know, is this going to settle into my expression lines here? Am I going to get it caught in my nasolabial folds? What does the powder look like underneath my eye? Now I don't have the foundation under my eye, just the powder, and I will be curious to see how this wears. It looks like it's a completely different day. I promise it's not. I changed my clothes because I spilled something on the green dress I was wearing and I was so frustrated with myself. It's almost 9:20 at night, which means that I've been in this makeup for 11 hours. A little bit longer than that, maybe like 11 and a half hours for the foundation and powder, but by the time I finished the rest of my face and doing things this morning, it was more like 11 hours. And I feel like that's a pretty good wear test for a cream foundation with a powder. I feel like actually it looks pretty good. I feel like I have a little more redness here on my nose. I was wiping, I had cat hair on my nose. I was kind of holding on to my cat and got some hair, so I was doing a little bit of this. So I feel like that's where part of my nose went today. But what's interesting is sometimes, because I tend to be oilier in this area, I have combo skin. It's mostly normal everywhere, but I have a lot more oils coming up around my nose. I feel like when I touch my nose, I can feel the oils come through, but I don't feel like I've lost all coverage. I feel like I can still see a little bit of foundation, and I still feel like it's not like super glowy. And I haven't touched anything up other than my lip gloss. I've been wearing lip gloss all day, and this is the only thing I've been reapplying. And I feel like, man, there's still a cat hair here. Ugh. As I'm looking at the rest of my face, sometimes I'll have foundation or powder here in my nasolabial folds, or in the corners of my mouth where it starts to go down just a little bit, or the corners of my nose, or in these expression lines on my forehead. There is always like my biggest one. I don't know that product actually sits in it. Sometimes I feel like because as I move my face throughout the day, product ends up like not staying there, and it's every place except for in that crevice. Sometimes it does collect in there, but I don't feel like that's happening today. I feel like if anything, there's makeup on either sides of where this really deep crease right here is. I don't feel like I have an extreme amount of dryness under the eyes, so I feel like the powder did a good job of setting my concealer without making that under eye area look overly dry. And I feel like as the day progressed, we had temperatures up at like 95 today. I didn't really spend a lot of time outside, but it was a warm-ish day. I feel like my natural oils came to the surface, and I feel like this wore pretty good. I did manage to snap some photos. One of them was taken about an hour after I finished the first portion of this video. And then 4 hours after that, close to 3 o'clock, and then another image taken close to 7 o'clock. And everything was taken in natural light. So I feel like you're gonna get a good indication of what this foundation actually looks like and how it wears throughout the day. Now, this is what it looks like 11 hours in, but remember, I do have beauty lights here at this recording area in my house. But I feel like it's, you know, I'm pretty impressed with it. I'm impressed that it doesn't look really heavy. Sometimes cream foundations can look really heavy on my skin. Sometimes a powder, especially under the eye, can be very unforgiving and call attention to texture, to wrinkles, make my skin look just a little bit drier, and or maybe not have enough mattification, and throughout the day, you know, it looks kind of like an oil slick. And I feel like overall it looks pretty good. Is this the most bulletproof, like high coverage foundation? No, but it's not supposed to be. It's supposed to be medium coverage. If you want to look like yourself but perfected, this is a great option for that. After 11 hours of wear, I feel like it's actually looking pretty good. There are some foundations that go like 6 to 8 hours and then they start to fall apart. Other ones can go a little bit longer. There's very few that I have that feel like they're bulletproof, like I could wear them all day long, and they look almost as good when I wash my face at the end of the day as when I put it on. I'm not going to tell you I feel like I have as much coverage. I feel like the coverage has diminished, especially around my nose area, but I don't feel like this is settling in a bad way. I don't have product settling in my expression lines here in my forehead, in the corners of my nose, in the nasolabial folds. I also have these small lines that kind of are the corners of my mouth that kind of head downward on both sides, and sometimes I can get product stuck in there. I don't see that happening. I also don't, well, let me double check. No, I don't have anything like right here in my crow's feet. And even though my under eye isn't perfect, I don't feel like my makeup has betrayed me. I feel like overall it looks good. The one thing I will say is I have less coverage on my nose than I started out earlier with. I do feel like my skin looks like skin. You can see the freckling across the top of the nose. So I feel like maybe I've lost a hair of coverage, but it's not like there's giant patches on my face where there is still product and where it's not. I feel like it's kind of blended in nicely throughout the day, and 11 hours later, I'm not mad at this. I think it actually looks really good and it's really quite pretty. For 11 hours of wear, I'm pretty impressed. I'm going to continue to try this month. I will keep you posted on how I like it. Does it work for me on a work day? Is it kind of a non-work day sort of makeup? If you're not in and out of a mask like I am at a medical care office, I don't think this would be an issue for you, but it is for me because 9 hours of the day, several days a week, I'm in a mask all day long. And there are certain foundations that I know can handle that, and certain powders that I pair with them to get the best longevity, and other ones I just like, not even gonna try, because you don't even have a snowball's chance of making it halfway through the day. But I'm gonna try this out and I will report back to you. I would love to know if this has caught your attention. Is this the sort of thing that you feel has a place in your collection? Do you like the, aspect of having two products in one component? Let me know what your thoughts are. I have liked enough of the other cream to powder products that come in these duos from Patrick Ta that I definitely wanted to try this. And I would love to know also if you have a favorite Patrick Ta product, what is it? Oh, and let me know if you've tried his bullet lipsticks and his lip liners. Are they good? Do I need one? Convince me if you think I do, or tell me why I'll be fine without having one. Thank you so much for watching today. Have an incredible day, and I'll see you again soon.